great. The issue is that they're using, the history of human-created art to train their AI models to create this work in the first place. And what creators want is we want credit, we want compensation, and we want to have given our consent for this to happen. And at the moment, that's not the case.
So, in fact, what's happening is that the government is looking at a proposal to allow big tech companies to use copyrighted material to train AI.
Yeah.
That's your very fear, isn't it?
Exactly. So this is already happening. In that Productivity Commission's report, there was an acknowledgement that these AI companies were already infringing Australian creators' copyright. And so to just open the doors to these companies to allow them to scrape the internet and train their AI models with our work is ridiculous. And it's robbing Peter to pay Paul, except that in this case, Paul is a massive, gigantic company that has more wealth than any companies that have ever existed in the humankind. Why are we giving them this leg up? I don't understand.
It seems remarkable. We have heard of those copyright claims between artists, a small part of a story, a small part of a song, that, may or may not have been shared. So those copyright laws would be overruled in this case.
Yeah, I mean, in Australia, we have a really robust copyright system, and we actually already have a licensing scheme that would take care of these kind of issues. All IP is licensed in this country, whether it's music or the written word or, creative art. We already have these companies that license companies when they use that work. We could use that exact same framework for AI companies. But the Productivity Commission is, for some reason, wanting to give them a free ride.
So if I fancy myself as a bit of a poet and I write down a few verses and then I go, you laugh.
You don't need AI.
With a great justification. Then I go onto an AI system and I say, all right, well, there are the words. I now want this, make this into a song in the style of Josh Pike.
Yes, so that AI company, that model would be scraping the internet of my work, which is copyrighted. And it would be infringing that copyright to use that work to train their AI models. And the bottom line is, musicians and creatives have always been at the forefront of technology. We love technology. We're not wanting to stifle innovation. What we want is to be, remunerated for the use of our work in training these AI models. It seems ridiculous and completely unfair.
But you wouldn't necessarily know. If I'd gone off and done that, and then if I try to flog that out on you're not getting any money and you don't even know that you've been ripped off.
Exactly, and that's the exact problem. So we want transparency, as you say, so we actually know what's happening, compensation and credit for the work that we've put in.
Do you see any upside to AI coming in?
I think there's enormous upsides to new technology. There will always be artists that will create art using innovation and using technology. Again, it just comes down to the fact that we shouldn't be giving these companies a free ride. These are already the wealthiest companies in the world. When we talk about protecting the bottom line, why would we protect the bottom line of massive companies that are just, it's not like they're altruistic companies, as opposed to protecting the bottom line and the livelihood of creatives, human creatives in this country. We've already done a lot of work here.
Yeah, I read the Productivity Commission report that you mentioned, and it is full of looking at the positives, the productivity benefits of AI being sort of interwoven into the Australian economy and all the rest of it. Do you feel that you're getting a good, honest hearing from the government about your concerns?
I think we will. I mean, the government has been pretty open to hearing creatives for the last year, particularly this government. So I don't know that I think the issue is that tech companies often, there's this narrative that it's, innovation and that they're pumping heaps of money into the country and stuff like that. The reality is the creative industry already contributes something like $116 billion to the GDP. So to sort of take from that to benefit large multinational corporations just seems like a silly move.
Well, Josh, it's great to have you here in the flesh. No box or anything else?
No, it's the one thing I have at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, coming up next on 10 News Plus.